All right, hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to explain why you need to foam roll or muscle release prior to doing any stretching or exercising. And the exercising, whether it be resistance training, mobility, or cardio, it's all categorized together. And this is something I always stress to my clients. Anytime a client comes in for their training session, first thing they do when they walk through that door and I tell them what muscles we're working on today, they head back and they start foam rolling. No exceptions. Do they enjoy it? Not always, but they understand and know that it helps. And I'm often asked why I don't harp on stretching much or if they should stretch before they work out. And the problem with stretching first is if you don't release that muscle tension, your body is not going to allow you to lengthen that muscle. Because when muscles are tight, they're not just short, they're riddled with adhesions, trigger points, and tension. And when we have all those things present within the muscles, they're not going to be able to glide smoothly. They're going to end up becoming stuck together. So they're not able to lengthen properly. And our nervous system is resisting that stretch. And what happens is you feel that resistance when you attempt to stretch. This is why stretching alone often feels like you're fighting against your body. Now, if you skip muscle release before you work out, and that could be cardio or strengthening, our muscles don't activate properly. So think of the knots as roadblocks, and they prevent nerves from delivering messages to the muscle fibers. Compensation patterns take over, so our body reroutes nerve traffic to other muscles capable of taking action. We have joint stress that increases. Remember, any joint pain or discomfort is often a result of dysfunctional muscles above or below the joint. And to sum that all up, the risk of injury increases. So if we have muscles that don't activate properly, we have muscle compensation patterns that take over, and joint stress increases, we're going to increase our chances of injury. So now the question is, what does muscle release or foam rolling actually do? And the important thing to understand is when you use muscle release techniques, whether it's foam rolling, a massage ball or Theracane or massage stick, they don't just reset the muscle, they change the quality of the tissue. And how they do that is they break up adhesions. So you're freeing up those stuck muscle fibers so they can actually move again. And this will increase blood flow and oxygen flow into the muscles as well as nutrients. It reduces neural tension. So your nervous system stops guarding the muscle and allows it to relax and reset. It improves muscle activation and reduces fatigue time. So with that improved muscle activation, you'll have more muscle fiber engagement. More muscle fiber engagement means you'll have an increase in muscle endurance, strength and power, and reduction in muscle compensation. So the muscle can actually contract and engage properly during exercise, which is important because keep in mind, tight muscles aren't just restricted, they're often weak and poorly activated as well. And then we have number 4, which prepares the muscle to lengthen. So now when you stretch, you're no longer fighting resistance, you're working with your body instead of against it. All right, and I'm going to show you a visual, and this visual is going to represent what a muscle fiber essentially looks like with knots present and what happens when we go to stretch that muscle fiber, okay? So you see here, we have this band representing a muscle fiber, and we have that knot included within that muscle fiber, and we go to stretch it, and there's some resistance within that stretch. And a lot of times that is what is felt when you do attempt to do your stretches. You'll feel that resistance in there. And keep in mind, this is just one knot. Muscle fibers could have several knots within them. And not only that, you could have many muscle fibers within that same muscle group that have multiple knots as well. Okay, so this is just a representation of one. So when we go to stretch it and it resists, that's exactly why we want to make sure that we are releasing the muscle tension. Because when we do that, we're essentially resetting the muscle length. I'm struggling with this knot. Just give me a little bit. There we go. All right, so we release that tension and then we get a reset muscle fiber, and that muscle's responding to the nerve signaling. It's getting oxygen flow, blood flow, and it's a much healthier muscle. Okay, so again, We need to work on muscle release before we do any of our stretching, any of our mobility, and any of our strengthening. Now, I encourage you to try this at home. Hopefully you have one or several muscle release tools that you can use. But what you're going to do is you are going to perform a stretch for 10 to 15 seconds on an area of your body that's particularly tight or that's always tight. And once you're done stretching, you're going to grab that muscle release tool and you're going to work on releasing tension in that muscle that you just stretched. So spend about 20 to 30 seconds on that area, or longer if it's a larger muscle group. And then when you're done working that muscle release, you're going to perform that same stretch. And you should notice a huge difference just from doing that small amount of time releasing muscle tension. And just some reminders, the more intense it feels, the more you need to do it. Because the more you do it, the less intense it will gradually become. And if it is too intense, you can use different tools to help decrease that intensity. So massage balls against the wall, you can use a massage stick, especially on your legs. That way you can dictate how much pressure you apply. And the other thing I always recommend is you can apply heat. So if you have a heating pad, or if you're in the shower or in the hot tub, use heat to warm those muscle tissues and muscle fibers up. That way it'll take some of that intensity off when you do foam roll or do your muscle release techniques. All right, I hope that answered the question on why you need to foam roll or muscle release before you do any stretching or exercising. Please make this a regular habit. It will truly make a difference on how your body feels and moves. Check out my videos on muscle release techniques if you are not familiar with how to release muscle tension in certain muscles. Please hit like and subscribe if you learned something new today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.